Hello and welcome again to Stocks Advisor channel. Here at our channel we are looking for interesting buy opportunities for US-based stocks. Today we'll speak about INO Inovio Pharmaceuticals. Indeed, this company is attracting a lot of attention nowadays, and its price actions are also quite interesting, so it can make up to from 5 to 10-15% run a day. So of course, in that sense, it's interesting company to trade with. And if you're looking in the technical trade, it's also very interesting because now it's turning to some interesting shape. So let's talk about it. First of all, we need to mention that it's not also a small company. It's 1.78 billion market capacity. So in that sense, a quite capable company. But what we can see last 4 months that it's gradually declining in price. Although now, in somewhere in 20th of October, we saw a reversal of the patterns of moving averages. Here you can see this moment. It's when moving averages 20 and 50 were on top and moving average 200 was on bottom. So it was still a chance of steady growth. Now the reverse, so moving average 200 is on top, moving average 50 is in the middle and 20 is on the bottom. Usually, if this is so-called opening of the moving averages, if it is taking place in this sequence, this is let's say longer term, it's bearish indicator, but still what might happen that moving average 200 moving average 20 will return, and as well moving average 50, and they will go up. If this is not going to happen, then we will have actually a downwards opening of moving averages, meaning that the price will decline further. Well, to understand then how to play with this market, which is a bit risky in that sense, we need to of course take a cautious actions, and for that let's do look at a bigger scale, because then we can see also later supports that were taking place, let's say in the beginning of the year. So this is the same daily chart but just a yearly scale, and what you can clearly see here is first of all that we have a downward trend form, the ceiling of it really almost linear, very clearly seen. So it's this one, let's call it R1, and you see that every time when we approach it, we always go down further, and indeed it also happened recently. And again, we have, if we draw it at a bigger scale, it would be actually this line. So I will be switching today from one scale to another. So this is R1 level, and you can clearly see that again after reaching it at the beginning of the week, and it coincided also with moving average 200 here, we are now in decline, and after being a little bit flat, we are starting again to decline, because today's candle, it's a red candle with shadows upwards downwards. So usually on this trend it's more declining. Also, if you look at RSI, we see that it's kind of in decline shape, although it still might bounce because it's still in the middle, so it's not that decisive. But if you speak of MACD, and this is more interesting, you can clearly see after being long time just a little bit below zero and volatiling, and now it made a small move up, and now it's facing down. So until we will see bottoming of the downwards wave, most probably it will be going down, only then it will recharge and try to go up. So having said this, what we can see here, the upward ceiling of the downward trend is R1. So where is the bottom line, of this channel? And if you look more carefully, the bottom of this channel is actually this one, and this one we can call R2. And you see this channel is narrowing. So in that sense, this channel is narrowing, meaning that you can play volatility inside of this channel. So you can play on these volatility ways, hoping at certain moment to pierce it upwards, or in case if it pierces downwards, then you need to be prepared. And that would be the strategy we will follow here. So having said this, we also need to mention that there is one volatility level on this channel, this one, the volatility line, where we're sitting. Actually today we use it as a kind of reflection level, so let's call it V1 line. And with this we can clearly see that if next week we pierce it, if we pierce V1 further, it will be confirmation of actually going to R1 bottom, and that would be the first entry position here. So actually this is advised on this stock to play inside the downwards narrowing channel R1, R2. Therefore the first entry position will be here in the vicinity of the bottom of R2, and then once you buy here and there is rebounds, it's advised actually to sell anything above V1, because then it can reverse again, so it might be narrowing within the channel. At certain moment it can spike, of course, upwards or downwards, as I just said, but this will be defined by the news. So this move upwards or downwards here, it's a news driven, so we need to keep it in mind. Until that, we will be in this channel going downwards. And again, should it pierce up? Okay, if it pierces up, there are several resist lines, but there is no point to discuss it now, because still we need to see this piercing to understand how strong it is, how far it can go. But just in case if it happens, we can see here several resist levels. Clearly it would be then, actually, if we continue similar naming, it will be R3 and R4 levels. And mainly, I think the main battle will start at R4 once we pierce upwards of R1. But again, if you buy here with dark circle and probably price goes down, the next levels of defense will be, to understand this, we need to go to this bigger scale. So let me redraw again. So what I will do now, I will redraw the R2 level here, and this would be then this one. So this is our R2, and if you continue, you actually see where it starts. It started in March, and it worked exactly on volatility points when the previous waves were hanging, and then it actually started to become really a support resist. Well, actually in this case support line after beginning of June here. So this is our R2, and then the volatility level V1, just we discussed it will be here then. So as we said, the first entry would be in the vicinity of R2. Should the price pierce further down, then the next support level will start here. Let's draw it with a line. And by the way, actually the first, the dark circle and R1 will be a double support here, because there is also S1 line, which is nice, so it will be very strong support. But in case it's pierced, then we should be prepared for next action. Again, it's not given at all we go that low, but just because we always want to be very safe and be prepared for any possibilities, that would be S2, the second average down approach. And again, just imagine very crazy move further down. This is the next support line, S3. Not given we go there at all, but just as always, we want to see all possible supports. And again, because this stock is very volatile, and again, we expect trading to happen between R1, R2, and further probably with some news coming going upwards still. To be very safe and secured, it's advised to buy with one portion here and then average down with 2, and in case if going lower with 2. This way it would mean we need to play with 5 portions here, so split your money you want to play on this stock on 5 and then buy with 1, 2 and 2 as advised here below. So with this, it should be very safe. And again, if you enter at the first circle, then exit between this V1 blue line above it and below R1. If it's on the second circle, just exit in the vicinity of R2, and if it's in the third circle, exit in the vicinity of S2. So just exit at the vicinity of next upward line. This way it will be the most safe game. But again, coming back to a bigger scale, most, let's say, a probable situation is that we stay narrowing in R1, R2 trend until some catalyst come. But again, since it's a pharmaceutical company, we always need to remember it's FDA, and FDA can either bless it or curse it, and in this sense the spikes might be happening upwards as well as downwards. But within the advised approach, you should be safe with some big range, let's say, of volatility here. Therefore, it might be very interesting play for Inovio Pharmaceuticals. On that, I would like to thank you for watching this episode. Please also do not forget to subscribe to our channel. If you didn't do so, also press the bell button. This way you will not miss our new videos and new interesting discussions at US-based stocks.